Hello and welcome to this week's video. I will be using this photograph of my daughter, some white Bazill cardstock and Echo Park Just Be You paper. I have a sticky sheet and I have this very small piece of paper which I'm going to be using little bricks from. So we start by cutting off the branding strip. I am going to be bringing in some Tim Holtz Distress Oxide ink in the Abandoned Coral, because this colour goes with some of my paper there. And so I'm going to be using the package technique. You're not going to see an awful lot of this. This is going to pop up between the bricks. I want a little bit more at the top and the bottom where I think you will see this. So, and I do put a little bit in the middle just to spread that out, using my kitchen roll just to dampen the colour down and to take off the excess. So with this piece of paper, I am literally going to start cutting it into strips. So I have that branding strip there, and I have part of a pattern on there that I will be using. And now I'm just going to go through this piece of paper and cut off parts of it so that I can make lots of little tiny bricks. Because of the patterning, I have to be quite careful, trying to make them all the same size, but as I went along I realised that some of the lines of bricks were going to be a little bit thinner. Jumped ahead with cutting all of those out. Now I'm arranging them to try to find the smallest piece so that all of my bricks will be that size. So I'm just measuring that there and cutting a few of these, but realised that actually it would be easier to cut them not with the cutter but with a pair of scissors. So jump start there, I've cut all those out, and now I'm going to be laying them down on the page. Now this is a good way of using up lots of little pieces of offcuts, just so long as the patterns look quite good in small chunks. So I'm going to line those up and fast forward. As you can see, that top row is slightly thicker, the bricks, and the second row there is a little bit thinner. And here's me having lined all of those up. I'm just getting a couple of little extra bits and pieces there just to fill in so that I've got no two next to one another. And I'm going to start now gluing all of these down. So I'm going to zoom forward this because you don't need to see all of this, but I get out my ruler just to make sure that they're lined up, and I'm just measuring this by eye really. So I lay down the top row, and I also need to think about where my picture is going to go on this page, because then I might have a few different pieces that I want to move around a little bit, just so that I've not got too many of the same ones near or next to one another. So just lining up the first two rows, so I will have at least a row, two rows above and two rows below my photograph, but I'm not quite sure how much extra. So I'm just gluing those ones down and moving that around, because when I got to the end of the row I found that the last one sort of lined up with the top one. So we're trying to make sure that they aren't directly underneath one another and that they're sort of staged underneath each other. So go in now with the next couple, and yes, just gluing all of those down and getting them just where I want them. This is quite a painstaking task. It takes a little bit of time and a bit of glue to get all these down in the right places. But well worth it in the end. I'm quite happy with the way this looks. So lining up my picture there, and I am going to move a few of the pieces out. I'm going to make sure that I've got the edges in each one of the rows in the right place, so that I don't get muddled and lost with which ones go over the page and which ones stick directly onto the page. And then I will remove some of them so that I don't put them underneath the photograph, and then I have a few extra pieces to play around with the colours. And again, so I said that the two colours aren't next to one another. So I take those ones out, and I am going to zoom the next bit. You don't need to watch me glue everything in place. Again, now I'm just lining these ones up so that it fits going across the horizontal, but that it also, I've got them around about the same place with the ones in the row, one above the one that I'm working on, so that they again stick nicely down. So I've got those all in place, and just coming in with the last few. I've made sure that anywhere that might possibly be seen, there is one of these pieces. And now I'm just going to snip off the excess bits there on the page, and come on in with my photograph, and then we will look at the sticker sheet. I have quite a lot of things left from the sticker sheet, so I'm trying to think about what I want to do. My title is a Bramble Fox. It says Dare to Dream, because some of the titles on the sticker sheet say things like she's got dreams, and she turned her can'ts and cans, and she turned her can'ts to cans and her dreams to plans. Just thinking that I might bring in a little bit more colour just to back this photograph, and kind of bring out the colour in her trousers in the picture. And this is a photograph. My daughter doesn't particularly like these photographs. There's a collection of them of when she had a friend over for a sleepover, and we went to a local park, and now that she's a grown woman, she doesn't like the pink trousers and the fact that they're grass stained, but I really like these photographs because she just looks very relaxed in them. So I've stuck a title that says happiest girls are the prettiest girls on here, and now I'm just laying, here's Candy come to say hello, just laying some of my excess paper that I fold up to lift the photograph a little bit, because then I'll come in with some stickers and things behind it, but I'm not quite sure what I'm doing yet. I know that I want the photograph where it is, so I'm quite happy to stick that down in place and then work round those two little embellishments there. And when I stick that down, I realised that actually the little clipboard needed to be a little bit higher up, so I've put another piece underneath there. And then I have a piece of cotton that just won't go away, which is why you keep seeing me wipe the page there. Just put some glossy accents on the back of this Perspex to stick that down, and we'll come in with a few bits and pieces. So I've got a sticker there that says shine, putting a couple of these arrows which are also in the paper on my little bricks, and just thinking about what else I might like to use on this sticker sheet. And I think I might put some bunting on it, so I've just gotten out some twine, and just thinking about whether I want the bunting on the left or the right hand side, and just arranging these stickers to see how I might like them. That brings in a little bit more of the colour from the pages, although I do come in and use a couple of the flowery ones, and there isn't actually any flowers on the little pictures, which is quite surprising, but the colour theme all work together. So I'm just using my glossy accents to stick some of these down, and also raising parts of them with some foam pads so that they're not stuck down completely, and they give a little bit of definition here. This is not a lot of definition on the page, but I do like how this is turning out. It is a great way of using bits and pieces of paper, and I don't know how I ended up just with that tiny little piece of paper and a whole sticker sheet. I have a sneaking suspicion that I'm going to find some more paper in this collection at some point. I know I cut the heart out and made a layout with that a little while ago, but it's unlike me to have bought the sticker sheet and only one sheet of paper, so I'm sure there's some somewhere, so these stickers might come out for something else. Just putting some thread, as I've got that for my banner, putting that a little bit of thread on the page as well to tie those together, and that just adds a little bit more texture as well. And I quite like this dream catcher as we're talking about dreams, so I popped the dream catcher in place as well. That's quite a nice sticker, I really enjoy that. And I've got some lovely gems, which I'm going to put these in a few different places on the page. These are really, really nice sparkly gems. My friend got a job lot a long time ago, and I got this little packet of gems from her, and I seem to use them all the time, as does she, but we still seem to have loads left over. And just putting a couple onto the dream catcher, because I thought that would be a nice way to lift that a little bit and make that more predominant when you look at the page. And we're pretty much near the ending of the page. All I need to do now is do my lines for journaling and my date. And so I've just said here, we went to Marlow Park to start your sleepover with Amy, and I just love how relaxed you were. So we're just going to pop that on the page, and then we will have another cat and the page will be finished. So I hope everybody is keeping safe and well, and I will take this opportunity to wish you a happy Easter, as today is Easter Sunday. And I hope you've enjoyed my page, and that you can get scrapping perhaps during the week, and I hope this has inspired you to use up some of your leftovers. Thank you for your time. Have a nice week. Bye.